Well, I'm out and about on one of my walks, and occasionally one of the things I see are clusters of flags. I'm working through a council estate at the moment, so I'm walking through one of the areas where, if you're to believe some of the rhetoric, you'd expect to see lots of flags on lampposts. In fact, from what I can see, there's only the one on the street I'm walking down. See if we can get it for you. So there we go. There's our flag on a lamppost. And I've just been thinking a bit more about the whole raise the colours, the whole sort of flags on lampposts kind of thing. One of the things that struck me is it reminds me of another part of the United Kingdom. Probably more so, some people have talked about how in the United States everybody has their flags on the flagpoles, and of course that's not what we're seeing. But it reminds me quite a bit of a trip I made to Northern Ireland a number of years ago to a friend's wedding. Got sort of long connections with Northern Ireland, family. So my grandpa was actually from Belfast, but it took me years to actually get there. And I went to a friend's wedding. The pastor of our church down in Rochester, which I was a member of for a number of years, was from Northern Ireland, down in the sort of the border country area rather than up in Belfast. And we went for his son's wedding, and a few of us, we hired a car and we drove around the coastal road, and you go through all of these little villages, and in each village you can tell whether or not it is Catholic or Protestant, loyalist or nationalist, because when you go through the Protestant towns, it's not just the flags hanging up, it's not just the murals on the walls, but even the curbstones are painted red, white and blue. You go to the next village and it's orange, white and green. They are declaring this is a nationalist village. So I was thinking about that because I heard someone say the other day something about flags. They said, the striking thing about flags is that you use a flag to claim territory, to announce possession of that territory or authority in that territory. And they were saying that in a positive way. It sort of reminded me, I think there's a whole Eddie Izzard skit, isn't there, about how the British conquered the world with the help of flags and guns. That we stuck flags in places to say this belongs to us, and if the locals disagreed, we said you can't disagree, we've got our flag, and we've got guns as well. I'm not sure if it was accurate caricature.
Are you local here?
So,
are you local here, yeah?
Yes.
Where's the police station here?
The
Police station?
the police station.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is one just under the motorway here, but that is more for the motorway things.
No, it's all right. Yeah. We need
Is that the one you're looking for?
Yeah, 115. Is that?
Yeah.
But these are that's for them. 115.
Yeah, so that will be. It's just under the motorway bridge here.
Oh, down there.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. So just stopping for a little bit of a conversation with someone who's lost and looking for directions. Hopefully he's okay now. Well, back to what I was talking about. We are seeing all of this flag stuff happening, and people are saying, oh, this is about territory and claiming territory in that positive way. And this is coming from, particularly from the Christian nationalists, that they're saying that it's a declaration that streets and towns and cities and public space belongs, first of all, to Britain, that it's British, or English if it's the St. George's flag, and secondly, that it's that it's Christian. It's part of a Christian nation of Great Britain. Now, it's worth noting at this point that that is reading quite a lot in. That's making assumptions of what people are saying. For example, a couple of years back, I saw lots and lots of Ukrainian flags going up. That wasn't people announcing that Ukrainians lived there, that Ukrainians were claiming territory here. It was a declaration of support for Ukraine in its war with Russia. But what strikes me is that perception of its claiming territory, that might be the attitude of some people, because that is saying something given the context of who puts the flags up. I actually saw a video the other day shared, again, positively by a Christian. Look at this wonderful thing that people are doing. And it was people going and putting the flags up on lampposts in the middle of the night. That's the thing. The flags that we are seeing on most of the lampposts are not being put up by local residents. Now, if you see a flag hanging out of somebody's window, that probably has been done by the people who live at that house. But what we're primarily seeing is people going to areas and saying, we are going to put the flags up. And that might be people who live there, but that's just one or two people making the decision about the area. And what we seem to most often seeing is actually people will come from the other side of Birmingham to put their flags up here. I think that's probably why it was late before the flags went up in our particular area. There's people coming from the south of Birmingham to do it, moving around the whole city. So consider that. Somebody is claiming territory, but it's not the whole community of the street, and it may even be people from outside of a street that are doing that. Think about how that sounds. That doesn't sound particularly friendly or good. It also sends the message that those people perceive, if this is true, if this is why they're acting, that until they've come and put their flags up on my street, that my street is not British territory. And think of the message there, particularly in areas where there's high levels of ethnic diversity. So first of all, I want to respond and say that is deeply concerning. And just in terms of our public theology, public ethics kind of view, for Christians to be saying that positively raises big concerns. But secondly, if our priority has been diverted to claiming land, claiming territory by putting flags up, I know there's a whole sort of theology of demons, a whole wrong and weird and dodgy non-biblical theology of demons around that kind of thing, then we have got really badly distracted from the gospel, because the gospel is not about flags, it's not about external symbols, it's not about giving physical land territory. The gospel is about Jesus claiming our lives, reigning in our hearts. The spiritual war that we're in is about putting to death sinful desires. It's about living godly lives in the power of the Spirit. It's about saying no to temptation. So for both of those reasons, this idea that the flags are a positive sign of territory being claimed is one really messed up idea.